EasyMorph version 6 is now available for general release. Let's dive in and take a look at all of the new features and changes. EasyMorph Server has been renamed to EasyMorph Hub to better reflect its role as a multi-purpose data collaboration hub. The user interface has also been completely redesigned, giving it a clean, modern look and feel. One of the most requested features has been the ability to create custom actions to use in EasyMorph workflows. In version 6, this is now possible using EasyMorph Hub catalog assets. There are 4 types of custom actions, each relating to a catalog asset type: import or query, transform, export, and workflow. Once created and added to the catalog, custom actions can be added to an EasyMorph workflow. When adding an action in EasyMorph Desktop, we can now switch between standard actions and Explorer assets. We can also switch between the different types of custom actions. Custom actions can be dragged and dropped into our workflows, and their settings configured like any other action. This means that building custom actions doesn't require writing any code, simply creating an EasyMorph workflow and adding it to the catalog. Continuing the trend of recent releases, EasyMorph 6 brings 3 new event triggers to EasyMorph Hub tasks. The first 2 are SharePoint triggers, allowing you to monitor SharePoint folders and SharePoint lists, and triggering tasks when changes are found. A new feature-rich web response trigger allows for monitoring of any web page or API call. There are lots of possible use cases for this trigger, such as monitoring an API for new data being available, or triggering a task when a web server stops responding. As well as the 2 new catalog asset types which support custom actions, we've also added a new states asset type. State assets are very much like metric assets, but display text instead of numeric values. They can be conditionally formatted just like metrics and are great for displaying information such as system statuses. Boards have also received some significant new features. Metric sections on boards have become metric and state sections, allowing you to add a mixture of both. The order of the metrics and states can also be changed by simply dragging and dropping them into the new desired order. Issues sections on boards have also received an overhaul, with 2 new features which are especially useful when working with large numbers of issues. Issue sections can now be expanded to full screen, and new filter options allow you to find just those issues which you need to take action on. You can filter for issues by type, date ranges, the issue status, and also search for those containing specific text. A new File Manager section has also been added, allowing you to add either a local or a remote folder to a board. Remote folders work with all file storage services supported by EasyMorph, such as OneDrive, Dropbox, Google Drive, AWS S3 storage, Azure Blob storage, and many more. Users can now upload and download files directly in the board and run any relevant tasks or workflows to create or consume them. This makes boards a real alternative to SharePoint. EasyMorph Hub has also received a new connectors feature. It has always been possible to store connectors in a Hub repository, but this new feature lets you not only view them within the Hub UI, but also to audit which tasks, web tasks, boards, catalog assets, and triggers are using each connector, making it much simpler to know what might break if you need to reconfigure or remove a connector. Note that the feature must be turned on under the space settings within the Hub administration panel. Version 6 isn't just about EasyMorph Hub, with lots of improvements to EasyMorph Desktop as well. The first is a new Use Connector button added to the top menu bar on the main Workflow Editor tab. Clicking the button shows a pop-up listing all of the connectors in the current repository. It also includes useful links to add or manage connectors. Clicking on a connector in the pop-up will show all of the capabilities EasyMorph has to work with the relevant database or system. Clicking on a capability will show and guide you through the steps and actions which are needed to implement it. EasyMorph workflows aren't just about preparing data, and so this new feature makes it easier to begin or continue a workflow using an automation action. A new option has been added to the Power BI command action, allowing you to export a Power BI report to a PDF file. This means it is now possible to automate the whole process of preparing data, uploading it to Power BI, refreshing the dashboards and reports, downloading the PDFs, and emailing them out. It was previously possible to disable and enable individual actions, a feature that is really useful when testing or debugging a workflow. However, it was easy to forget to re-enable the actions again before saving and closing the workflow, meaning important steps could be missed. To avoid this, we've added the option to disable or enable an action temporarily. When using this feature, the action will automatically revert to its previous state when the workflow is closed. EasyMorph Desktop has received lots of other improvements and performance boosts. The row limit of any table in a workflow has been doubled, with up to 1 billion records now supported. The entire app is 10 to 15% faster than before, with some areas, such as loading data from Excel files, being up to 3 times faster. All action settings which rely on a user to pick one or more columns have been reworked, and now support sorting, filtering, and searching the lists of fields, really helpful when working with large tables. And a new column picker parameter type has been added, specifically intended for building custom action workflows where the end user might need to specify one or more columns within the dataset. Not to be left out, EasyMorph Launcher now supports adding tasks which run a Python script rather than a workflow. Just like normal launcher tasks, Python tasks can be run manually or scheduled to run automatically. And combined with the capabilities of the EasyMorph Python library, you can configure parameters to be used by the Python script and return data from the script to view and download from Launcher when the task runs. We'll be bringing Python tasks to EasyMorph Hub in a future version. For all other changes in version 6, check out the post on our blog at easymorph.com.